it's Monday night. Tap that, you know I would. Great cigars, great talk, yeah, it's all good. From the lounge to the show, let's spark up the night. Cigar talk, burn slow, everything's right. Legends and makers, they stop on by, sharing the secrets, the craft, the why. From the rollers to the blenders, they tell their tales. Pair it up with spirits, let the smoothness sail. Wrapper, binder, alright. Flavor notes hit just right. Retro hail, take it slow. Only I tap that cigar show. I tap that, you know I would. Great cigars, great talk, yeah, it's all good. From the lounge to the show, let's spark up the night. Cigar talk, burn slow, everything's right. So cut it, toast it, take that draw. Kick back, relax, break out the humidor. If you love cigars, well now you know. It's the I Tap That Cigar Show.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the I Tap That Cigar Show. I'm your host, Kevin from Cigar Prop, and I'm coming to you live from the sunny Gulf Coast here in Florida. Joining me, as always, from sunny, maybe not so much this time of year, South Carolina, my co-host, Kerr, Viajante of Stogie Road Cigars, and we got with us Ron Martin. And I'm gonna say Raices Cubanas.
Yeah, that's actually really good. Yeah, Raices Cubanas.
Because I watched a video of Indiana Ortez and how she pronounced it, and I just I played it over and over. I figured if Indiana said it, I was probably safe pronouncing it the same way.
You roll the R's? Can you roll it?
No, not at all.
Raices? No?
Yeah, I prefer Raices because every time I say races, it always sounds like racist, you know. So
yeah, Raices Cubanas. Yep.
So. Oh, right on. I was tired before that intro. Something about that intro just gets me pumped up and going because it was a long day. Ron, how old are you?
I'm 30.
You're 30. So you're still young. God.
Yeah, man.
You haven't developed that old man strength. I'm training a new kid at work. I'm a mechanic full time.
Okay.
And this kid is probably 19 or 20. He's worked on his own cars, never in a shop before. And so this is day number 2. And today was busy. And it just, at one point he disappeared and I'm like, hey, where'd you go? And he goes, man, I've had to pee for like an hour. And he goes, I had to run off real quick. And I'm like, yeah, you can go to the bathroom whenever you want, bro. You know, it's, but this afternoon when I finally finished my last car, you know, and he's like, I don't know how you do this. He goes, you're old. And I go, yeah. I'm old. I got that old man strength, that old man agility. You know, it's, you know, this kid running around the shop like 10 times back and forth. I'm like, bro, gonna wear yourself out. You need to get everything you want. Take as little steps as possible. So
yeah, I think. So I have 3 daughters. I think also has to do with like that dad energy, right? So it's. My oldest is 10. My middle one just turned 8, and then the youngest just turned 5. So I'm always on the road, man. You know.
Oh yeah, and a girl dad, you need to be able to lie on the couch perfectly relaxed to running at full speed in a split second. You know, at the sound of a shrill or a shriek of whatever. So yeah, you've got them girl dad reflexes.
Yeah,
and harness that energy because you know that later down the road you have to save a few ass kickings. You know, I know. Listen, I turned 55. I know I still got a couple more left in me. I kept them reserved. I kept them in the reserve tank.
There you go.
I got a couple I could give out.
Yeah, that's it. I don't have to fight anymore. I just look scary. The beard, the tattoos, like nobody, because I'm an old man. You will probably whip my ass, these young kids. So I just look scary, and that's all we need. But yeah, you got three. God, three.
Yeah,
I got a girl and a boy. They're all grown. My daughter's 30. My son's 25 or so. So I don't have to worry. But when I did meet her boyfriend, she's only had one boyfriend her whole life. They've been together 13 years now, 14 years. They just gave me my first grandbaby, but
Nice,
the first time I met him, thank you, or actually their first grandbaby, my third. But I'd met him, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Bob. Nice to meet you, Mr. Shahan." I'm like, "All right, Bob. Got one rule: if you ever make my daughter cry, I will make you cry." And that was the he's never made her cry. He's taking very good care of her.
Did you have the beard back then, or were you doing the?
I had a goatee. Back then.
Okay. Right.
So and spiky hair, different. He came to my I managed a bar and a restaurant, so he came over there. So
that's when you look like Ricky Rackman, the Ricky Rackman look.
How long did it take you to grow out that beard that long?
This if I shaved it today, like I said, I would have the majority of this back in 12 months. So we have good bearding genes. Like my dad can grow all of this in probably 4 months.
Wow.
Like he's Santa every year for Christmas, and he doesn't even think about growing his Santa beard until like September, October, and then it's just there. It's freaky. Yeah, all my uncles have long beards, so.
And this is why I keep it. I mean, I've tried growing it longer, and it just takes forever, and then it gets too messy, and I'm like, all right, I can't. It starts pinching my lips.
Mine grows out. Mine gets full.
Yeah, that's what happens. Yeah, it goes.
Like I think I have to like get the whole grooming, and I'd have to really train it to go down because it just goes out.
Yeah,
and I look like some freaky cartoon character with an axe.
Yeah, that's exactly what happens to me.
I tell everybody, for the most part, the first 6 months, it's just, you just look like a hobo. You don't look good. Nobody likes your beard. Everybody wants you to shave it, when you're trying to grow it out and long, but I said 6 months, you'll know what your beard's going to look like. So, and then some people are like, oh, I can't grow a beard. I'm like, I really couldn't grow a beard until I was 30, like a full, like it started to get length, so it just takes time.
Yeah, I worked in the food industry for I don't know, like six years. From 16 to like 22, I was in the food industry, and I wasn't allowed to grow a beard then. So I was always shaving, and then once I left, the first thing I did was grew out my beard, and I haven't gone back.
Yeah, general manager of Taco Bell, from what I see on your LinkedIn. What's one thing you'd bring back if you could bring back anything from the menu of your days?
The taco salad was one of my favorites.
Yeah, man. I don't know why they don't bring,
I'm glad they brought the taco pizza back.
I was just gonna say that. I'm glad they brought the Mexican pizza back. That's my all-time favorite. And they brought it back.
They have everything to make a taco salad. Just bust up some tacos. You have you have everything.
You gotta get the shell. You gotta get the bowl.
The shell, it's the bowl. That's the only thing they don't have. But I'm sure they still have like the little molding for it, and they can just throw it in the fryer for a few seconds, and you'll have that shell.
I'm happy just busting up some Dorito Locos tacos, just bust them all up and throw them in a regular some kind of box. I don't care at this point.
The Dorito tacos are also, love them too. God, those are crack.
There was some good stuff during my times back then, for sure.
Oh yeah, way back in the day. So.
Hey, Kev, before we get started, you want to do the CigarMedics humidimeter cut and light?
Yeah, because I need a cigar. So yes,
so do I, man. Well, we're going to get into CigarMedics humidimeter cut and light. And remember, with the CigarMedics humidimeter, you always know when to hold them, and you always know when to smoke them. Kevin, what are you enjoying this fine evening?
Well, my cigar is at 62%, and I'm smoking another. This is actually my second one tonight. I smoked one before the show, and this is from our guest, Raices Cubanas. This is the Liga de Reyes. We're going to get into all the cigars in the portfolio later on in the show, but I never did look up to see what's in this cigar. I have the pamphlet here. I love this cigar. I cannot get enough of this cigar.
Which one is
Kerr? The Liga de Reyes.
Yeah, that's one of my alt. That's up there. I'm actually at 67%, and I'm smoking the 1941.
There you go.
Which is another fantastic cigar.
Fantastic. I've got one of those on so deck right now. Ron, what are you smoking tonight?
I started off with the 1941 as well. So I have a 1941, and then I have a Classico on reserve standby once this one is done.
Actually, I got the Classico in this month's Corona Cigar of the Month Club shipment, so I can't wait to smoke it. I put my lighter down somewhere.
Corona or Smoke In?
Oh no, I'm sorry, Smoke In. Okay. So, but since you mentioned Corona Cigar, thanks for that heads up. I got a giveaway that I'm going to share my screen here, and we have a. Let's see if I can figure out where it's at here. All right. From Corona Cigar, they're the December 2025 Premium Cigar of the Month Club subscription. We always give one away each and every month. So this month's winner is Utah Cigar Connect. Oh, good. He'll like that. You know, they can't get any cigars in Utah. Well, you can't ship technically. I think I'm allowed to ship free cigars, you know, to Utah. But yeah, so I got the Classico and this the Smoke In Cigar of the Month Club. Nice. Can't wait to smoke that one. That's the only one I haven't had yet is the Classico. It just I don't know. You know, we always say, you know, you smoke with your eyes before you smoke with your mouth. Same thing with you eat with your eyes. It just appears light, like just a light Connecticut. And then I know I shouldn't shy away from that because I've had some spicy, bold Connecticut. So I will get that one lit up this weekend for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say it's a little bit stronger than the Connecticut. It probably falls into like the medium range, a light medium. But it's definitely got, you know, a lot of hints of like creaminess and it's very sweet. So I enjoy it. My favorite size on the Classico is actually a Figurado. So it's a Figurado. It's what I have here on reserve.
Nice.
It's just a wonderful size. I love this one.
So speaking of Smoke In, everybody should know that Smoke In does a every Saturday KMA Talk Radio. They just had their 600th episode, and the crew announced every, you know, they'll do like once a quarter thing, and it's called a Tale of the Tape. It'll be the best of something, best superhero, best TV dad, best whatever it is, and then each week they'll pick one and they count them down. So they finalized. Everybody got their number ones this past Saturday. Cigar Coop picked Hawaii 5-0. Abe picked Cheers, and Alex picked Fresh Prince. Out of those three, which one would you guys pick? We got Hawaii 5-0. I can't even think of that.
The show or the theme song?
The theme song. So it was best TV theme songs.
Oh, I got you.
I can't remember any of them except for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. So.
Oh yeah. So all right.
I think I Cheers to me is just. There's so many great memories with it. It's such a great theme. Hawaii 5-0 is very classic, but I'd have to go with Abe and pick Cheers.
So what makes a good TV theme song, guys? what do you look for in a TV theme song? Does it and there was a big debate before Tale of the Tape season started. Does it have words or does it not have words? You know,
I don't think it matters. I think it has to. It has to grab you right from the beginning. It has to grab your attention. The hook with the theme song, you can't wait for the hook like deep into the song. It's got to hook you right away.
Yeah, I think also too, it has to do a little bit with the, I guess like the clip that's rolled with the music as well. You know, so what's going on in the background, as well as the music. So. A little bit of both, not just the song itself.
Yeah. But if you heard the music though, but like if you just like, you know how like when you're driving down through or you're sitting there and you hear the song from the other room, you'll know it. Like that's the reason why they play the first couple of chords. It's like it hooks you right away.
That was mine. You know,
Mash is like boom, 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 boom. That beginning. Cheers.
And you
Hawaii 5-0, French Prince. Boom, right away.
So from your youth, Ron, I mean, what would be a TV theme song?
So I watch a lot of anime.
Okay.
So that's kind of what I watch. And I know those theme songs are always a little bit different. It's, you know, like Japanese rock and roll, stuff like that. And they kind of just, they go into it and there's a lot of screaming going on and stuff like that. So, it depends, you know.
So Ron's tail of the tape every week, it would have been really weird. They were like, I don't know that one. I don't know that one. Like nobody.
I mean, if we're gonna go back in the day, I'm trying to think of. I mean, it's hard to think of something. I don't even like this show, but it's the only theme song that comes to mind is Friends.
Friends made the list. I think everybody had Friends at some point during the season. You know, same for me. For me, it was Andy Griffith, that whistling theme song. You know, you just knew Andy.
You guys ever watch Andy Milonakis?
Andy Milonakis. Oh my God, yeah.
That song. There you go. That's the highlight.
That's it. That's the highlight. Kerr, what would have yours your number one have been?
I'm still laughing. Ron said anime. The first thing I think of is I went to high school down here with an anime. We're in the South Carolina area. No, my son's heavily into anime. So I and he plays the music too, so I know exactly what you're talking about. You know, it's every time we have this conversation, it's like a new one pops up, and the one that always I love, it catches right away is Sanford and Son.
Yeah, Sanford and Son.
That beginning is just so funky.
Yeah.
It just catches you.
Yeah. So what do you?
A show?
Yeah. It's almost a little before my time, Ron. So that's
I'm the old man of the show, Ron. So yes, there will be some references that you may have to Google.
Iconic one, Brady Bunch. Sorry to talk over you, Kerr. I didn't mean to.
That's all right. Kevin does it all the time.
Yeah, Brady Bunch. That's a good. What are your kids into, Ron? What are the girls like? What not TV show, like movies? Because I mean, I remember as a parent, you know, my daughter was Aladdin. I watched that movie a million times. My son was Lion King a million times. Play it again. That's all we play all day. What about your kids?
So the most recent one that's like making the waves right now, and everyone's been going on about it, and I actually enjoyed it, was K-pop Demon Hunters. That's the one that girls are all crazy for.
My granddaughter just had a birthday like a month ago, and everything was K-pop Demon Hunters.
There you go. So, that's what they're going crazy for. Outside of that, TV shows, Bluey is one of my favorites to sit there and watch with the kids. I love that one. When they were little, Coco Melon was very popular. Frozen.
Frozen. Oh, I got my dad buddies, you know, like if I never have to watch Frozen again in my life, you know, now their daughters are older, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That was a
I don't mind it though. I like a lot of the cartoons. I mean, I grew up on that stuff, so a lot of cartoons is it's what I like to watch, honestly. So it doesn't bother me. I kind of get into it with them, and I have a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like the cartoons of when we were growing up. You know, they were sometimes they were a little racist. You know, I didn't like that part. You know, we had some weird cartoons and some weird characters, but at least they didn't throw in a
trying to be me as a kid. You catch some of those Tom and Jerry's and Bugs Bunnies. It's like
the guidelines.
Band.
Yeah,
there's nothing subtle about that shit back then.
Yeah, I don't know how many times Bugs Bunny was in blackface, and it's like, oh God, you know, it's like, how's this on a rerun still, you know? So
you can't, you won't find him anywhere now. Tom and Jerry too. It was a ton of that shit. And you're like, you know, out of all the episodes, there's probably 12 that they could probably still show.
Yeah, that's it. So All right, Ron, let's get a little bit about you before we hear about the company.
Sure.
I want to hear. I always love everybody makers, my neighbors, random people on the street. You know, how did you get into smoking cigars? I always want to hear everybody. It's always a who or what or how.
It's one of my favorite stories. So I'm actually, believe it or not, I'm half Cuban. I'm half Cuban. You know, grew up with a Cuban family. And my grandpa, being Cuban, he always used to just smoke cigars all day long. So growing up, you know, we would walk into the house every weekend, to my grandparents' house.
Now, is this in Miami where you're at?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm born and raised here in Miami, in a little town called Hialeah.
Yeah.
So you know, basically Cuba, but
yeah, sure it is.
So my grandpa, you know, he would always be smoking in the house. He was, you know, that was his thing. He was always have cigars. You know, cigars and a beer. Heineken was his thing. Heineken and some beer company called Hathaway, if I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, but I'm not sure if you guys drink beer at all. But it's
it's like I do not.
What's it called? Hathaway?
Hathaway. Yeah. It's Hautey. It's I think if I'm mistaken, it's probably a South Florida thing, and it's got a little Indian on the picture from what I remember. So that's, you know, that was our morning, right? Walking into just the smell of cigars, the aroma. I always loved it growing up as a kid. Unfortunately, my grandpa passed away like when I was 11 or 12. But as soon as I turned 18 years old, that was the first thing I did was I went out, bought a cigar, and you know, went to the cemetery and had a cigar like right in front of his grave and like smoked in his honor. And then from there, it just kind of blew up. You know, I was like, I really like this, really enjoyed this. Bought my first humidor. I think it was like a special on CI back then it was like $50 for a humidor with 10 cigars. And, you know, ran through that. And I was also into cars back then. And so the guy that, you know, my detailer was also into cigars. And we just, you know, every weekend we would get together and just, you know, start smoking cigars. And down the road, I got into the industry. So that's kind of how it started. You know, I had to just do it with my grandpa, the aroma, I was in love with it from a very young age. And my neighbor also smoked cigars, who was my babysitter growing up. So it was around me the entire
time. That's great. You know, my daughter, not a huge fan of cigar smoke or the cigars, but she will be out and about somewhere and she'll get a whiff of cigar smoke, and, you know, she'll always say, you know, she'll text me, you know, like, hey, just, you know, she lives 10 minutes away, but smelled a cigar thinking about you, you know, so that's always, you know, powerful, you know, because one day when I'm not here, you know, thankfully my grandkids will always be able to watch me on the TV. But that was one thing I remember to my grandfather. I don't remember a lot about my grandfather, but he smoked a pipe. So it was that aroma, you know, that just takes you take you know. So,
hey, Ron, that beer, I just looked it up, but that beer was first brewed. It's a Cuban. It was the country's first premium beer, and it was brewed in Cuba, and it's still I guess Bacardi bought it, and they've repurposed it as one of the, you know, the craft beers or microbrews, so you can still get it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I've seen them around down here. Like I said, I know it's like a South Florida thing. It's like
Modelo Brewery makes it.
Yeah. But Bacardi buys everything Cuban and then just makes it over here. You know, either here in Florida or in the DR. You know, so what kind of, so like, you know, when you got to hang out with your detailer, you guys are, you know, working on the car, smoking cigar. What were you smoking? What were, you know, what kind of blends, makers was catching your eye back then?
So I was, as a consumer, I always kind of just floated around with what was attractive. You know, I always like trying something different. So I would go a lot by like the box design, the bands, you know, whatever looked cool, and kind of just picked out from there. I never really had a straight like go-to back then. Probably if I had to guess, one of my favorites back then was Romeo, like one of the Romeo and Julietas. I'm not sure which one. I just know it was like I think it's like the 1875 or 1835.
Oh, it's a great cigar.
It came in a little white tube. Yeah.
I still smoke. Keep boxes of 1875s around sometimes. Great cigar.
Fantastic.
But yeah, I was the same way. Started off, I liked a box, and I liked the band. If the band was cool and the box was cool, probably why I never graduated. Over to Padron. A lot of those, the bands were kind of boring. I didn't know anything about them. Like, oh, look at this big fancy band. That must be good. Sometimes it was, sometimes it wasn't. But
we all have those moments, though, Kev. Ron, when was your moment when you were smoking these cigars? When was that moment where you knew it was something more than just going after the bands, and you really dove deep into cigars?
Honestly, I think it was when I started working in the industry, where like I started getting, into more of what it really meant to smoke a cigar. And diving deeper into like the flavor and not just smoking to smoke. So I think back then, before as just a consumer, before being in the industry and like getting to meet more people in the industry, I was just smoking to smoke, just enjoying it, enjoying the flavor, never really kind of like tasting it. Didn't know how to retrohale back then.
It's overrated.
What, retrohaling?
Yeah, yeah.
Kevin's unpopular opinion by Kevin.
You get some different flavors, so
you get no different flavors. But that's no. That's I know, and I can. I either get Bernie or not Bernie. That's what I get on the retro. But sometimes I'll have to ask my wife. I go, hey, can you smoke and retro this? And there's something there that I'm not getting, and she'll pick it out every time. So.
It's because she does it correctly, Kev.
Yeah.
So it was more when I got into the industry, when I started, smoking to kind of enjoy the flavors, slow down a lot, because when you first get into it, and you're not really surrounded with people that are doing this on a daily basis, or are I guess tobacco enthusiasts, you kind of just smoke to smoke, and you puff through. Like I was smoking, Gordos, let's just say, in like 30 minutes.
Right.
That's a little fast, but
yeah. So
I was the same way. My buddy's best friend, which like a dad to me, Dick. He smoked cigars, and he just smoked to smoke. Nothing fancy at all. And when I started smoking cigars, same thing. It was just smoking. I enjoyed the smoke. I kind of enjoyed the flavors, but I didn't know anything about it. Couldn't pick out. Back then, if you're like, hey, what are you getting? I'm like, I don't know, tobacco. Like, whatever. And, But and then once I got into this industry as well, same as you. It's like, I should probably learn about this stuff. And then you fall in love. You got it. So you worked for STG for a little bit. How'd you get into working for STG?
So, well, before STG, I was with Alec Bradley for most of my time.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. Yeah, you were with Alec Bradley.
I was with Alec Bradley for almost 4 years. And then
so did you work with Master Chief?
George Sosa.
George Sosa, yeah. Sometimes I can't remember his name. He's just Master Chief.
Master Chief. Hold on. No. Yeah, George Sosa. Yeah. George Sosa's. I did work with George Sosa. And so when I started, he was there. He left I think maybe my first year in. And I was there for 4 years. That's how I actually met Ralph and and Hugo, the owner of the factory, and had Ty. That's how this all ties in, kind of. I started with Alec Bradley, which we make a lot of cigars for them. I made a lot of cigars for them back then, so it's kind of where I got to know everyone. And then with STG, I was with it was like a side thing they were doing. It was called Versa, like Insurgent Ventures. They were launching like hemp cigarettes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't on the cigar side at all. It was kind of my way of getting back into the cigar industry, because I had left the cigar industry for a little bit to do real estate for 2.5 years. my foot back in the door was through STG for that hemp cigarette line that they did. And I was there for 9 months, and then they shut down the department. And then I reached out to Ralph to see what he was doing, because I kind of know, he was working on something, and it was just it was perfect timing, because he was like, "Hey, I'm launching Raices Cubanas. We'll love to have you on board." And so that's kind of like how I started in this role.
So I was talking with Abe DeBabin Smoke In the other day, and talking about having you on the show, and I had mentioned why he brought, because you guys were there was only 2 companies he brought in from PCA 2025 or this year. Right. So and you guys were one of them, and I asked him, I go, why'd you, I mean, other than they got great cigars, why'd you bring those in? And he said his relationship with Ralph, over the years. And I don't know who Ralph is. I mean, I've seen him. I have no idea who Ralph is. And he's, I've heard his name a couple times. Who is this Ralph you're speaking of? What's his history in the in the industry?
So Ralph Montero has been in the industry for, I want to say, 40 years. He's definitely been in for a long time. His he started with Tropical Tobacco back in the day, which, if I'm not mistaken, is now Aganorsa. So that's where he started. He started there, and then, from there he went to Alec Bradley. He was the VP of Alec Bradley for over 20 years, working with Alan Rubin, and that's where he spent most of his time, Alec Bradley. So he's the vice president of Alec Bradley for over 20 years. And then once the acquisition from STG happened, where they bought out Alec Bradley, Ugo, the owner of the factory, approached him and said, "Hey, I think it would be a good time to kind of launch our own lines. What do you think? Can you help me out with that?" And obviously, of course, with their relationship and years of partnership, he said, "Yeah, let's do it."
Okay. So, I thought I knew most people at Alec Bradley, and I never knew. Everybody knows Alan Rubin. They know Alan, and they know the kids. And obviously, like Casey Aldulami and Master Chief, and they knew a few of the fancy, well-known reps. Everybody knew, but I did not know that. So.
Yeah, Ralph, he likes to be behind the scenes a lot. But he's a good guy, man. He's awesome. I look up to him a lot, and I spent a lot of time with him at Alec Bradley. So it was a perfect timing, honestly, to be on board and help him launch this company. And obviously, like I said, I had the chance when I was with Alec Bradley to meet Ugo, and get to know the factory, visited the factory. So I was familiar with everything. I was like, this is a great opportunity. I would love to be a part of it. And it's a very small family little operation right now. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Nice. You mentioned Tropical Tobacco. Whenever Aganorsa sends me a package, it still comes from Tropical Tobacco, and I'm like, I'll get the notification like Tropical Tobacco. I'm like, who the hell is that? It'll take me like, oh, it's Aganorsa.
Yeah. I don't want to speak out of terms here, but I believe his uncle was one of the owners of Tropico from back in the day, and that's how he started. His uncle was literally one of the owners of Tropical Tobacco, and that's how he got started in the industry. So
yeah,
and then really got a lot of tobacco from them, correct? Back in the day.
And then Terrence, like said, and then his family is the Quesadas as well. Like the cousins. I don't know. Terrence is hooked up everywhere. He's got lots of cousins and uncles, and and everything. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, you'd mentioned, like said, Alec. I didn't know you guys were still making. I wasn't sure how the STG, how that merger, if they would, if Alec Bradley would still be making at your factory, or if they would try.
We still make some of their cigars. We still make cigars for a few different people.
Yeah, you guys got Illusione, Viaje, La Polina, Padilla. Are you still doing for those?
I don't know what if we're doing anything with some of those.
I
believe, if I'm not mistaken, we made the new Epernay that they released this year.
Oh my god, that was so good. Yeah, the two alone, or I forget.
Yeah,
what that
I believe we did that one's from our factory, if I'm not mistaken. And I know we obviously, we did the older Epernay. I'm not sure if we still do. But I know we did that back in obviously 2011 when it was rated number 2.
Yeah, that new one, the Tuanella or something. Oh my God, that cigar is fire. I'm glad to hear that comes from your factory. So that cigar was great. So what is Ralph? What is Ralph's role? I mean, you're the sales director. What is Ralph's role in the because you got the you said Hugo. He was the factory owner.
Correct.
And then what is
Ralph's one of the partners. He's I guess co-owner, vice president of the company.
Oh, okay. and then you're sales director. So what does your job entail?
Right now I just oversee sales basically in the US. So just sales overall in general in the US. The sales I work with, we have brokers right now. So I work with the brokers, go out doing events, visiting stores, visiting shops, dealing with the nitty gritty sales team.
That's what I was wondering if you had sales team or if you're using brokers, so.
Yeah, right now we have brokers. I believe we have 6, and then I have a couple territories that I'm still missing and I'm trying to get filled in. But outside of that, we're rolling on up.
Well, we have a broad reach. Which territories are you missing? So in case anybody lives in those territories and knows anybody.
Off the top of my head, I think it's like Arizona, Nevada, Arizona, Nevada, the Midwest area, and then the Northeast. So, Northeast. So
all right.
Areas.
Do you know if you're in Zeal Cigars out there in Arizona?
Not yet.
Not yet.
I've talked to was it Justin, right?
JB, yeah, Justin, JB.
Yeah, I've talked to Justin a couple times. He likes all my stuff, but I know it's just a matter of timing and shelf space right now. Which
next time you talk to JB, feel free to drop my name. Said, hey, Kevin loves our cigars. So right, JB will reach out to me and like, hey, is this legit? As he has done before. Someone's dropping your name again. What can I expect? So I will give him the thumbs up for sure. I just got a package from him today. Sent me some new cigars. So love JB. Yeah, he's hopefully we'll see that shop growing more and more over the few years, next few years since he's taken over.
I used to support the shop with the previous owner. Obviously, I know Bradley.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, my friend.
Yeah.
But they were all good people. Definitely all good people.
Yep.
So are you out there at all, like doing some cut and lights? You doing any events, or are you just kind of leaving that up to your brokers?
No, both. It's I've actually my most recent event was with Smoke In. So I had
I didn't know you were down there.
Yeah. We did. I did every store. I believe I did an event at every store except for the one in Boynton.
That's one I normally go to. Yeah,
one in Boynton we haven't done. So we did West Palm, Tequesta, and Port St. Lucie.
Okay. So so that's super cool. I know they don't have your entire portfolio on their website yet, but they have they've got a few.
Yeah, I believe they have Plastico and Liga del Reyes. And
I know I saw. I know those two, and I thought there was one more, but So if anybody's looking, go to Smoke In.
I believe it was C5 Black. I know they don't have Nuevo Comienzo yet because we just launched that line, the end of last month. So they haven't gotten it yet, but we're working on it.
So what's your travel schedule like? Is it rough?
It's not hectic yet. So
not yet.
Not yet. But my schedule for next year is looking really pretty. I know the wife's not going to be happy, but
that was my next question. That's always the tough one. Especially with 3 little girls, running around, and here you are taking pictures of smoking your cigars, drinking your bourbon, and then you have to be like, I'm working. So oh my god.
Yeah, luckily, obviously we all live close. So my parents live very close, and my mother-in-law lives very close as well. So we're all very very tight, very close. So whenever she needs something, she go to either my parents or her mom, and it's we're a few blocks away from everyone, which is great.
Oh, that makes it nice. So timeline here. How long has the factory been around making cigars for other people? And then when did they decide, what was the year they decided, hey, we're going to start making cigars for us and branding these cigars?
Yeah. So the factory's been around since 2003. They've been doing cigars. They started doing cigars in 2003. And then I know they tried a couple times down the line to kind of launch their own brand, if I'm not mistaken. I know they did it through Alec Bradley specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what happened. It was before my time there, so I don't know exactly what happened back then with the history. But as of 2024 was when we went, full scale launch. We had our own lines, completely unique. And we started off with 4 core lines, which would be the Classico, the Liga de Reyes that you're smoking, Kevin, the C5 Black, and the GRD3. Those were the 4 lines we launched with. And then this year we came out with 1941 Nuevo Comienzo, which means new beginnings.
Mm-hmm.
So which is a new beginning for the 1941 line, which was one of the lines they did through Alec Bradley. And then it's also a new beginning for obviously the factory and the company as a whole. So that's kind of the story behind that cigar is, just a new beginning for the company.
Right.
1941.
Yeah.
So, Ron, I got a question. And thank you for sharing that, because, like you said, it started in 2003, the factory, and it's known for making cigars, for Alec Bradley, and I think Kevin had mentioned a couple other brands out there. And now you're stepping into the spotlight.
Sure.
I know you said they had tried, I think it was back in 2014, 2015, but they're stepping back out of the spotlight. Great line of cigars, especially with the new beginning cigar. What steps and what are you and the factory doing to connect directly with consumers to build your name and brand to make it recognizable as its own?
That's a great question. A lot of it is we're doing cut and lines. We're doing obviously events with at the retail level, passing the story around to the consumers, getting them to know the brand. Obviously, a lot of the tobacco, it's what they're familiar with because they've been smoking it for so many years. It's not the blends. Obviously, the blends are not the same. But it's the construction, the consistency, everything. They're familiar with it. And we're just, we're starting off doing shows like this where I come on, kind of me, myself, Ralph. We're starting to do some shows like this where we could kind of talk to you guys, have a conversation and just have people get to know us, have you guys talk about the brand, have us kind of talk about the brand a little bit and put our story out there so people know who we are. Like I said, it's the same factory that's been doing cigars since 2003. So it's not nothing new.
Right.
It's just obviously the brand itself, the name is new to the people, but the cigars aren't.
Yeah, that's all. That's always the key, is just getting it out there and letting people know. It's we're a new cigar, but we're not a new company.
Right.
And especially in this day and age. I mean, you see it. It's every time you go into a cigar lounge, there's a new company out there.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like, we got another new one, and it's educating the it's not only educating the consumer, it's educating the sales staff at the brick and mortars,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the only downfall of brokers. I don't know if you'd agree or not. It's just sometimes you're not their only brand that they're representing, and how much knowledge, does the sales staff have? Is that something that you guys work on after, if a broker comes in, hey, we've got we open up a new account, how do you guys make sure that sales staff knows about your cigars and they're just not sitting there?
A lot of it, a lot of it. I mean, myself, just having conversations. I speak to the retailers myself on a daily basis. Phone calls, over the phone. I'm always having conversations with a lot of them. So, kind of passing along that way as well. I personally give plenty of samples to the staff when I'm out there and about, traveling. I always have samples with me, give them to the staff, have them smoke it, have them try it, pass our story along. And then the brokers, I mean, I speak to them on a daily basis. I trust these guys. I know we're not the only brand they're representing, but they're a great team. They're a great bunch. And I know, obviously, if they decided to carry us, it's because they're behind the brand and they want the brand to succeed too. So it's just about having the confidence and trust in the brokers as well. The same thing you would have if you had your own sales staff. So it's just about that trust.
Yeah, because there's a story to tell, and like you said, there's a great story to tell. There's a differentiator with the name of the company and what you've previously done, but also stepping into, like I said, the spotlight with your own blends. That's definitely that's why I love the idea when you said you're doing cut lights. That's really where you get a chance to sit down and talk to someone and get educated and really learn more about the company. And when you learn that and that background and that history, a great deal of confidence can be is had when you go in the humidor and you grab one of your cigars.
Yeah.
And I know, and it helps, and you don't ever want to be comparing your cigars to other brands, and it's nothing you ever want to do, but it does help if the sales staff at the humidor is like, hey, it's a, they make, and you hate to say that, they make for Alec Bradley and Illusione, and they used to make Padilla and Viajante, and so they're a good, you don't want to use that, but I know for a little while you gotta, it was when I first got into this industry, 10 years ago, that was Steve Saka's. He got into this into his own brand the same time, and it always pained me to watch these interviews he did. Half the interview would be talking about Drew Estate. And I'm like, oh, come on, guys. He's got his own brand now, but you do have to live off that, for a little while, and like, oh, hey, do you like the Liga Privada T52? I made that, well, technically Nick Melillo made it, but I'm taking credit for it. We know the story, Steve. But yeah, so hopefully you guys don't have to, tell that story. No.
I try my best to separate it for as much as
I know.
But obviously, it comes into the mix and it's totally fine. It's not a big deal. It's at the end of the day, there's plenty of people out there making cigars, right? So it's for other companies and stuff like that. So it's nothing that's new. But at least, it does kind of give some people an idea of, how at least what we're about, and give them something to rely on. Like, okay, you know what? I've tried something from that company before. I've tried something from that factory before. It was great. Let me give these new brands a shot. So it's good. I personally don't like to piggyback on it too much, but it is good to have in the back.
Other factories are off. Some of their factories are seen as just production houses, right? Where your factory it's a good storyteller when you talk about the different cigars you made. Now you're telling your own story,
right?
I tell you, and the one differing fact, and it's not every factory, but your factory doesn't have a taste like when AJ Fernandez makes a lot of cigars for a lot of people. AJ has a blending style. Like when you smoke a cigar, you're like, oh, this is AJ. AJ. Same with JDN, Hoya de Nicaragua. Oh, this is a Hoya de, you can taste that. But but when I started doing like research into your company, and I'm like, oh, like all the cigar. I mean, I smoked everything that you had, and then I look, I'm like, well, this doesn't taste like any of those, and I'm like, that's great. I like that, it's not, so it's, like, oh, I might as well smoke this from, but it's like what you guys make for yourselves is completely different than anything else. Do you guys own your own fields, or vertically integrated, or you're
we have 2 farms out in Honduras, 2 regions. We have one in Trojes and one in Hamastron. We have about 420 acres or 425 acres of farmland. So,
nice.
And then we have 5 different seed varieties that we use, and I want to say we grow about 60 to 65% of our own tobacco that we use in our blends. So
wow.
That's fantastic. And then you mentioned Honduras. In case everybody doesn't know, it's where the factory is. You guys just got, what was the award I saw that you or someone else posted? What was I forget, what was that you posted the other day?
Cigar Lovers magazine. Our C5 Black got number 3 for best Honduran brand on Cigar Lovers, and then we got best brand on their magazine as well for Honduras for 2025. So
yeah, that's fantastic. That's Jennifer's favorite cigar, Kevin. My wife, Jennifer, she's become a huge fan of your cigars. Like I said, we were out. She picked it up at one of the I think it was Smoke and Brew. She picked one up and just fell in love with it. And then when the folks down the road got it, I mean, when we go in there, she always leaves with a big old handful, and that's her favorite blend. That's her favorite cigar.
Nice.
Yeah. Jessica loves them too, and the 4 of us generally rarely ever agree on cigars. Me, we're all smoking and like, oh, I like this, it's okay. But this is, and for people listening, I don't blow smoke. It's not my thing. I'm never like, oh, this is the best cigar ever, and then the next week it's the best cigar ever. But this is like one of the few cigars that we all like. That we all truly love. I don't know what Jessica's favorite is. We probably all have different favorites, but it is a great
lineup. I mean, everything. It's a great lineup. Every cigar that you smoke, it's a different experience. It really is.
It's because you don't have 5 variations of the same cigar, and we know that there are brands out there that are like that. They're that we know it's like hey, we've got 5 or 6 different cigars in our portfolio, and you smoke and I'm like, you got one cigar in your portfolio. You got 6 different. You got 6 different versions of that same cigar, to be if we're going to be honest. But you guys have. Let's get into them, because you do have 5 completely different cigars. The Liga de Reyes, my favorite, my second one of the night. What can you tell us about that cigar? And then the Liga de Reyes, is that a homage to the Reyes family?
No. So it means it's blend for kings.
Kings. Okay.
Yeah, so blend for kings. It's actually my personal favorite as well. I love it in the Churchill size. So if you ever see it around in a Churchill, pick it up. It's a great smoke. It's the Liga de Reyes has a 4-filler blend from Honduras and Trojes, and then it's got a double binder from Esteli and Hamastron, and then it's wrapped in a Trojes wrapper.
Oh, okay. So I couldn't place the wrapper. Like I said, I was too lazy to look it up. But I'm like, I like that. Had those. It's just a weird like spice that it's always on the tip of your tongue, and it's just and it never goes away. And it's just from the moment you start smoking it to the very end, like that spice is just there. So
keeps you engaged, and I'm with you, Kevin. That's one of my out of the line that I've smoked. That is the one that I lean towards in favor, because it is very engaging the entire smoke.
Yeah,
I agree. I like, it's very complex. It's a very complex smoke. It's just I love it. It's very smooth. It's got its sweetness. It's got its pepper. It's great.
And then up next, we talked a little bit earlier, the Classico. What is the makeup of that cigar?
That one's a Honduran Puro, so it's got the wrappers from Trojes, the binders from Hamastron and Trojes, so it's got a double binder as well, and then the filler is also from Trojes and Hamastron.
Oh, a Honduran Puro. I think I got one. I'm definitely gonna have to smoke that now, you know, and yeah, I'm gonna pull that not right now, but I want to smoke that on a fresh palate. I do like Honduran Puros. So
yeah, I like Honduran tobacco is delicious.
Yeah,
it's and you guys aren't having the too many of the tariff issues that some of the other countries are having.
Yeah, no, I saw that. No, we're not having those issues, and we didn't raise our prices or anything, so we're good to go for now.
Nice.
Now, did Honduras get hit with, I know tariffs raised across the board, across the world. Did Honduras get hit with a
I think it's 10%.
Okay, so it wasn't that 17 or 18, so 10%. I don't like, oh, that's easy to incorporate in. It is until you're making 1 million cigars. They're like, oh, not 10%. It's those nickels add up quite quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the C5 Black. I've only smoked that once, but I did enjoy that cigar. I can't wait to smoke that again. What's all about that?
So that one has a Trojes wrapper as well, but it's from the 5th priming. So it's it's a thicker leaf. It's obviously a lot darker. That one's got the binders from Hamastron and Esteli, and then it's a 3 filler blend from Trojes and Hamastron as well.
And then what was the name C5 Black? What was the
C5 comes from Code de Cinco, which just means 5th priming.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Keep it simple, stupid. And the GRD3, which is that the Grand 3?
Correct. Yeah, the Grand 3. That one it's a Honduran Puro as well. So, but instead of a 4 filler blend like the Classico, it's only a 2 filler blend.
So, another Honduran Puro. Now on these, both of these Puros, is this not only all Honduran? Is this all your tobacco? You said you're using about 60% of yours. So, in all of your cigars, are you using only tobacco that you're producing, or are you buying outside for any of the other ones?
For the most part, it's mainly our tobacco, aside from obviously in the C5 Black and the Liga de Reyes that have Esteli binders. Those binders are obviously from other factories.
Okay, that does help keep with consistency, which I like. So mm-hmm. I like a cigar when I find out, that they're. They control their own tobacco. They're not and then at least on the binder, I mean, it's an important part, but you can obviously buy enough binder when you have the wrapper and the filler, the bulk of the cigar, when you can control that, it does makes me feel as a cigar consumer, makes me feel a little more comfortable. And like, okay, so this cigar is pretty much always going to taste the same. Like every time I get it, for the most part, I mean, it is an all natural, product, so it's always going to vary a little bit. Yeah, and I'm not good enough to know. I'm like, this one's just a little off from the last one, as long as it still smokes.
I love having these conversations with Ralph, because it was one of the things that I always ask him. And I've gone to the factories, I've seen how they do it, but I always ask them, like, hey, I'm curious to know, is there like a recipe that they follow? Like when they're laying down, is it like a certain structure, or like how does it? And he's like, yeah, it's the way they do it. It's crazy. It's cool. It's cool to see the way like it's all bunched up and stuff like that. So, Ralph's a great blender, man. He's got an awesome palate, and so I mean he's been in the industry for 40 years, so that he knows a thing or two.
I talked to Willie Herrera a few times, and I've asked the same question a couple of times to him. I'm like, you're making the same cigar over, and I know they have a recipe that they follow, You know, I'm like, I mean, you know, he said, are you keeping like older ones in? Are you testing? How do you know it's the same cigar? Yeah, no, it's the same recipe. It's the same one. I'm like, no, it's not. Bullshit. You know, like it can't be. You know, and I know it's true. I just can't wrap my head around that, you know, that it's the same, you know, the same cigar over and over again. And
yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's like subtle changes here and there. Obviously, like with the natural product, you know, it always has to do with, you know, the way it grows, and I'm sure the weather and all that plays into it.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure you're gonna get some subtle changes, right? And that's the thing with the natural handmade product. You're always gonna get some subtle changes down the line, but for the most part, I would say a lot of it stays the same.
Yeah, especially when sometimes you know they're breaking a leaf. You know, they'll put, you know, one here and they'll flip it or something. And I'll see them like, oh, but what if they move that down a little bit? That's going to change it, you know? And it's, I'm always thinking about that, you know?
Yeah.
So, but yeah. And then we got the 1941. Yes, so, and I know you talked about it a little bit. Let's go over that cigar one more time.
Yeah. So that one has a Trojes wrapper, Hamastron and Esteli Nicaragua binder, and then that one has a 4-filler blend as well. It's got 2 regions from Honduras, which is Hamastron and Jalapa. Sorry, Hamastron and Trojes, our factory from our farms, and then we got 2 other fillers from Esteli and Jalapa in that one.
Now, what are the sizes? Do you offer, you know, multiple sizes in each blend, or you know, I know on the 1941 you only have like the one size, correct?
No, we have 3 sizes on that one. That one
you do? Okay.
Yeah, that one comes in a Robusto, Gordo, and Grand Toro. And then for the most part, our lines have 5 sizes, except for the GRD3, which only comes in 3.
Yeah.
So
and that's what was that? Was that 660, 770, or what?
Yeah, 460, 660, and 770.
Yeah.
Okay.
Woo.
I know, you know, it's them cheap bastards, you know, that they buy themselves. Yeah, but for $1 more, I can get twice the cigar, you know, and
lockjaw.
Yeah, and lockjaw on top of it, you know. But I can smoke for 4 hours, you know. I'm like, you do that, you know.
That's my those are my road trip cigars. You know, whenever I'm driving to like Ocala or Orlando, that's what I'll pick up, because it's one cigar the whole trip and I'm good to go.
I used to be that way when I went down to see Abe, but you know, I would grab a CAO flathead, you know, like the 7-step. Yeah, no, never that one. But one of the like the 760, 770, and that'll be like the one cigar. And then I remember it just got to the point where I'm like, I'm bored, you know. I mean, still like a good cigar. I'm like, I should be like on my 3rd cigar, you know.
My jaw hurts. I'm bored. My jaw hurts a little bit.
Yeah, I'm bored, and I end up, you know, not finishing it, and so I don't smoke this anymore. You know, 660 is about it for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, I have done. I don't know the name, but I did it as a gimmick. I smoked through probably half of it, and I got, you know, I was like, I'm done. I can't. I spent all day outside, and I know it's the Big Johnny, I think it was, from Leaf by Oscar.
Oh, was it? Yeah, like, there's a good. I know you had the Woody. You had the.
It was like a 24-inch cigar.
There's been several people that have.
Yeah. You know. So yeah, I've had that one. That one's
yeah. Asylum had their new big one at the PCA this year. You know, and that was just nonsense. But you know, but people, I mean, I got a couple of the Aganorses in there, the big, like, I think the 100, you know, or whatever it is that they gifted me, and I'll never, you know, I always thought like one day I'll go live like the whole day and just smoke it, just like just reading my book the whole day and seeing like who tunes in. I'm not going to answer questions. It's just going to be a live camera all day of me smoking that cigar. So maybe maybe one day. Did you go to a PCA this year?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. How was it? I know you guys got smoke in. How was the reception?
It was great, man. It was a great turnout. It was a lot of exposure for us because it was obviously our first show, and being so new. So it was like our little coming out party. And it was good, man. It was good. A really great turnout. We had a lot of fun. It was great to get a lot of feedback from the people going around. A lot of people got to try our stuff, we were able to put our cigars in a lot of people's hands. So it was a good show. We're excited for next year.
Yeah, same here. Kerr and I went this year. I mean, I've been to a couple of the shows, but we'll be back this year as well. Yeah. So we'll definitely put you guys on our list of we'll reach out ahead of time and schedule some time with you guys and sure. Get some interviews from the show. Try and spread the love.
Right on. Yeah, I'm excited.
So Ron, no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you with the factory's Cuban heritage and obviously the influence of the craftsmanship and flavor of Cuban tobacco. How does that blend or influence working with? You discussed several Honduran puros, and those tobaccos are going to be a little bit more earthy, a little bit spicier, a little bit more nuttier. That's why I love the nuttiness of the Honduran tobacco. How does that Cuban heritage with that Honduran tobacco and other tobaccos blend and create what you're putting out?
That's a great question. I don't have an answer for you. I'm not going to lie. Don't have an answer for you.
You can make it up. No one's going to know. Huh? You can make it up. No one's going to know.
No, I don't like doing that. But I know, obviously, the factory was started by Romay and Maria Ndamano, which is Hugo's parents, back in 2003. Obviously, yeah, we all come from, they come from a Cuban background. So, they were working out in the cigar field or the cigars in Cuba. And with everything that happened over there, back during that time, they transitioned into Honduras and started producing their own stuff. How do they transition from the flavor? I don't know. I know we use Cuban seeds, right? Or not varieties of Cuban seeds like Criollo and Corojo, right? But as far as that side of things, I don't have an answer for. I'm not going to lie to you guys, so I'm not going to bullshit it. Right?
No, it's fine. I appreciate that. I'm always curious about that. If there's discussions of the Cuban influence and how it relates to what the tobacco they're currently using, and are they trying to get close to that, or are they just so happy and there's different flavors that they can go off on different in a different angle?
Yeah, I think. Ralph would probably have a better answer and a better response for you guys when it comes to something like this, because obviously he's been around for so long and he has a more closer relationship to the factory and on the side of the blending and stuff like that. As far as I don't know, it's tough to say. I would think obviously the we're international too, so I can't even say that. But a lot of the U.S. clientele, a lot of people probably have never smoked the Cuban, so they never experienced that. Right. I don't even know if I've ever smoked a true authentic Cuban. So it's hard to say what that flavor really is, right? So, I guess they kind of just went with the flow, maybe. I don't know. I don't know.
So you are the company is international.
Yeah. We have a distribution in Canada, Germany, and the EU. Not mistaken.
So have you gotten any? Because I know it's only been like a year now since, and I don't know who it is. If it's all of EU or. I remember reading the article that they were cracking down on everybody putting the word Cuban or a variation of Cuba on the band or the box, and they're really cracking down on that.
So yeah, so our line out there outside of the U.S. is just Raices. We dropped the Cubanas for for international, and yeah, we dropped the Cubanas line, or the Cubanas name.
Yeah,
it's just strictly Raices.
Yeah, because there weren't too many people that had, you know, a variation of that name in there, and I think you're the first that I've talked to that have had that, and then and had that dropped. So, yeah, it's a they're so picky, you know. Whatever. Yeah. But I did light up this. I was gonna wait for this Classico, but you know, just hearing the story, I went ahead and lit it up. This is a really good cigar. Like, you know, and I hate to say that, like I was expecting a bad cigar. Like people are like, Kevin, what the hell did you say that for? But like I said, I expected something milder than what I'm smoking, and I'm not smoking a mild cigar at all.
Yeah, no, it's I would say it's like a light, you know, a mild medium. It's definitely very flavorful for the strength profile, and that's what we're kind of aiming for. We wanted to hit. Obviously, when we launched our 4 lines, we wanted to hit, you know, kind of everyone's palate. We started off with, you know, we have the Classico, which is that light to mild, or that light to medium. The Liga de Reyes is a good medium to full. It's in that, you know, medium bodied. C5 Black is more robust, peppery. And then the GRD3 it's a great medium smoke, and then it's obviously has the bigger ring gauge. So a lot of people like, even though all of our cigars come in Gordos, the GRD3 does have that 770. That's, you know, great for the people that like the cigars in that ring gauge.
Yeah, if I ever talked to Ralph, the cedar note on this cigar, I mean, you would have sworn, you know, like when you get a cigar that has a cedar sleeve on it, you're always getting that cedar note, you know, and that's a way. But this one just came in cellophane, and the cedar is just through the roof. Like that's, I love the cedar note, and it is just like a 9 out of 10 on the cedar, you know. And I'm always curious, you know, I don't get that a lot. It's like, how the hell do they get that, you know, out of a cigar that doesn't come in a cedar sleeve? So super weird. I love that.
Yeah. No, yeah, you definitely have to have him on, man. I mean, he's great, very knowledgeable, and like I said, I mean, he's got a bundle of knowledge, man. He's been in the industry for a long time, so he's been around, and even before he was in the industry, right? Like I said, we've been around tobacco our whole lives, so it's something that you're familiar with. His story, I don't know if it's not similar to mine, but you know, obviously with his family being in the tobacco industry, his dad, his uncle. It's something that you grow up around, and you know, he's just been in it since he was young. So,
wow, yeah, that Honduran tobacco's got so much character to it. You know, like you said, Kevin, you're pulling a lot of cedar. I know I've always liked the Copan tobacco. The filler's got so much nuttiness to it and warmth. It's so much. I mean, it blends well with other tobaccos to really give a lot of character and keep you engaged and transition from beginning to end. It's not just one boring cigar and one flavor from light to finish.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah. I've really been digging on a lot of Honduran cigars this year. You know, I love the guys over at Cavalier. You know, Brian and Sebastian. You know, I know they got their factory over in Honduras. So I love the cigars they're making for themselves and other people as well. You know, that Honduran tobacco is, I'm really digging on it. I find myself leaning more towards Honduras than anything else. It just seems like a lot of the newer stuff, you know, is coming out of Honduras, you know, and you hear about, you know, tons of great cigars out of Nicaragua, tons. Right. I mean, literally thousands of different cigars. But you know, just Honduras just seems like the cool new stuff that I'm digging on, you know. Yeah. And maybe because in the past I just, you know, I never smoked a lot of Honduran cigars, so to me it's everything coming out of Honduras is new to me. So, you know,
I'm not surprised with your palate, Kevin. I'm not surprised because, you know, you're not that, because Nicaraguan, a lot of the cigars is just very strong, very, you know, a lot of pepper. That's kind of what everybody always says about, Nicaraguan cigars, but Honduran cigars almost seems like that's right in your wheelhouse. Because I know we talk about Dominican cigars, you don't like that floral flavor, and if it's too spicy, you don't like that either. You like that very engaging, very characteristic, lots of character in your cigars that you smoke.
Just a lot of flavor, and I think that's what I enjoy out of Raices Cubanas, your cigars. Yep. It's just they're not pepper bombs. They're not, obviously smoking this one, they're not light. There's really nothing like, I'm just going through the list of the cigars that we talked about. Like, there's nothing that I can't smoke any time of the day. Like, you have a cigar that, like, any one of your cigars is a morning cigar. Any one of your cigars, like this is, it's almost 8:30 at night, and I got the Classico that be the lightest, I guess, of the cigars, and I'm happy, with this cigar. So you guys have a good mix of cigars across your portfolio.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Now, have you been to the factory?
Yeah.
No, have you? So what do you do when you go down there? They let you play around with some stuff?
So it's been a few years, actually. The last time I went, I was with Alec Bradley. Haven't gone recently, but no, it was really cool to sit there and experience and kind of see, from start to finish, see the farms. My favorite thing is going to I don't know how to say it in English, but it's called butos, where it's all the tobacco that's kind of laid out, kind of getting ready to go. You just get that tobacco leaf smell. I love it. And you pick them up and you get to smell them. Oh man, it's great. Little hints of ammonia and stuff like that, obviously, but it's fantastic. Oh yeah.
That's. So do you know where the Cavalier factory is? Are you guys near them at all?
I don't know where they're located. We're in Donley. So I'm not sure where.
Yeah. I know Brian. I think Brian lives in Donley, so I think their factory must be there as well. So because I want to make a trip out to Honduras this year. It's going to be my first overseas trip, and we've been invited to Nicaragua, everywhere. But I really want to go to since I've been smoking so many Honduran cigars. So I definitely want to go out and see those guys and see some Honduran. Maybe I'll reach out to you and see if you can get me
definitely.
Go and at least say hi and kind of poke around, and because that's what I want to experience. What you just said, I want to be in a room full of like the bales of tobacco. I've been around a bale.
There you go. I couldn't think of the word. That's what happens.
There's that English word.
Yeah. So because I've been around a bale of tobacco and a couple of bales, but I've never been around hundreds of bales.
A barn.
I've been in barns with it curing. I've been there, but just that's how I want to just go and touch all the tobacco and just pull them up and just experience all of them. That's what I want to do.
Yeah, Brian would.
I know, obviously, it's a beautiful place. It's a really beautiful place, and I enjoy it. I enjoy going out there, and the scenery is very nice. It's very beautiful. I know, obviously, it's I guess you could say a poor country from a third world country, but
from our standards, yeah.
Right, yeah. But I personally think it's very beautiful. There's a lot of just natural stuff out there that at least I don't get to see in Miami. So it's a big change of scenery.
There's things you don't, but there's things you see in Miami that no one else sees either.
No,
so
very true. So
that's it. And Brian, yes, I did go to Cuba, but we only went to like the Monte Cristo factory.
I was gonna say that was very, very structured. Kevin just wants to go to a barn, and you may not get him out of that barn.
Yeah, that's it. And it was funny. I was chatting. Hold on one second. I did go to Cuba, and but Evan took the other group this past I think a few weeks or a month ago, and they all came back with tummy issues this time. Not a thrilling. Their time over there was good, but
came back with a
not so much coming back. So
came back with more than memories.
Yeah. That's it. Maybe some kind of worm or something they came back with. So I don't know. But
I've never been to Cuba, which is surprising because with my background, I probably should go, especially my wife too. But I know my wife's been there a few times when she was younger, but I've never been there, so I wouldn't know where to go.
Hey, Ron, I know you said and you mentioned that a while back that the factory did go out on their own, make some of their own cigars. I think it was under Alec Bradley. With kind of, you said 2024 relaunching this new line, new brand. Are there any lessons learned that you talked to them about that from back when I think back 2014, 2015 when they did come out and release some of their factory's direct cigars? Any lessons learned from that attempt or that launch to now?
I'm sure there is.
I don't know if they pass along any words of wisdom saying, "Hey, we tried this before. Don't do this."
Yeah. Obviously, the first time around, I wasn't a part of it because it was before my time in the industry. So I don't know the story behind it or what happened. But obviously, this time around, I think since it was more just focused on the brand itself rather than it being another brand focusing on it,
right,
and trying to push it. We have our own staff, our own team, and we're it's just strictly our own brand, right? It's our own thing. So I think that was probably would be the most important thing is we're behind our own brand. And I would say maybe that's why the first time it didn't work, because I think they tried launching it as distributing it through Alec Bradley and maybe got lost in the sauce and stuff like that. So
it's like an extension of them. I could definitely see how that would be very challenging.
Yeah, I could see that too, and that's where I was going to go. It's like when you got an Alec Bradley rep coming in and be like, hey, we have 37 cigars, brands, would you like a 38th? It's not ours, it's this other company that, or the factory that makes it, so that makes it tough. I mean, you're always shopping for retail space, as a retailer, and like, oh, do I need another Alec Bradley cigar, which it wasn't. So,
so
it gets lumped in by default. Is probably going to get lumped in that way, unfortunately. But like you said, you take a step outside and you create your own lane.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting. I love. I don't know. I just love the whole story, the whole branding. Are you guys? Obviously, Ralph is a blender, he's probably got 1 million cigars in his brain, and he's got, they always have a little black book, is it a slow rollout, or does he, he's talking to you like, oh, hey, these are our next 8 blends that they're coming out with.
I mean, we don't really have any blends locked in and set in stone, but we do have a plan maybe to roll out probably at least 2 to 3 new lines a year. Maybe a limited, and then at least 1 core line and a limited, or 2 core lines and a limited. That's our plan moving forward. So most likely at the PCA, we'll probably have 1 to 2 lines maybe that we're gonna introduce. I'm not entirely sure yet, but it is something we're working on the back end for sure.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what you guys come out with. We definitely got to get the details of on that at PCA. How many stores are you guys in across the U.S.? Do you know offhand?
An exact number, no, we're probably a couple hundred roughly around there right now.
All right.
Across the U.S. So obviously we're still expanding. We're working, obviously in some of those territories that we don't have representation yet. It's a little bit difficult, but we're rocking and rolling with the staff that we have so far, and the guys are doing a great job pushing it into the stores and doing what we can to just get samples into everyone's hands and getting people to try our cigars. And obviously the biggest issue is real estate. So
that's the big one. It's like, do you have room for another, at least, like I said, knock on wood, you guys got the pedigree, so that makes it nice. And then you got you got Ralph, that's it's smoke in's tough to get into, like we've had that conversation with Abe, people are probably all mad, like, you brought in another, what about my brand? I've been trying for 5 years. I've heard that all the time. Been trying for 5 years to get in with Abe. He goes to the show and brings in this brand that I've never heard of. So it's it makes it nice having that relationship built in.
Yeah. Now I'll steal a little bit of Kevin's thunder here, because this is usually Kevin's lane of websites and information. On the website, I don't see a store locator, but you can sign up to stay in the know. If you sign up, can you get information on what cigar shop or what lounges carry your cigars?
Not yet. It's something we're working on, where we're trying to get a store locator put in. It's I don't know anything about web design and stuff. I know our guys working on it. There's a lot of little things that go into play, but it is something that we're working on and we're going to bring in the future with our website. As far as staying in the know, I think it has to do mainly with like maybe when we're going to be doing events and when we're going to be doing launches, new brands coming out or limited edition, stuff like that we're going to be releasing. All that information gets pulled in and we send out MailChimps and stuff like that on our brand and our company and what we got going on. As far as, we do a lot of social media coverage where, like, if a store posts something about us or something like that, we do obviously repost it. And, it kind of, I guess, helps out and lets people know, like, hey, our cigars are in this store, in this location and stuff like that. And if anyone ever has any questions, they could always just reach out to our email and be like, hey, I'm in this area, where can I get your cigars? And it's usually myself or our director of operations, or even Ralph will answer the email and be like, hey, where this is the closest store to you. And if you can't get there, this is where you can find our stuff online and stuff like that. So,
right.
Kerr, thank you for bringing up the website, because there's one thing I was going to reach out to you, Ron, the other day about was, when I went to create this show, I try always put the social media links, Facebook, Instagram, which anybody watching tonight, the social media links are in the video description. If you're listening to this on the podcast next week or so, you can find the social media links. Your website, Ron, doesn't have your social media links. So usually on a website, if you scroll down to the bottom or the top, you'll have the icon for Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. Your website doesn't have that.
Did you? I'm looking at it right now. It does.
Did you? Because I was scrolling.
Yeah,
I was scrolling and I could not find it anywhere. And
it doesn't have the icon.
Doesn't have the icon. Yeah.
It has them written out, so it has like LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, right above the stay in the know.
Let me.
If you scroll down, Kevin, it's right underneath the email. It says social, and it gives you LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. And Kevin's next bit of advice is to get onto X, open up an X account.
So,
yeah.
I'm
what type of X account? No, I'm just...
Social. Oh yeah. Oh, so there.
Only
there
fans.
You're right. I do see it now, but yeah, I'm an icon guy. I think like I said, people see that icon of LinkedIn, YouTube, and that's what people I think search for. But yeah, it was you're right. I scrolled all the way down, and now I see, the words. People don't like to read, Ron. Nobody likes to read. Apparently, neither do I. So
all
right.
I'll definitely make that. I'll bring that up for sure.
Yeah, food for thought.
I'll give Kevin a lot of props. No pun intended with cigar prop when it does come to social media and when it comes to any advice, because he's given me a lot of great advice and some brutal, honest advice. When it comes to social media and any recommendations, he's really spot on. He's got his finger on the pulse of the cigar smoking community, and definitely for how quickly you've grown over the last several years, Kev. Like I said, when he talks to folks, he's like, get an X account. You don't have to post anything, but when people post, they want to tag you. And when you're tagged, it'll automatically show up on your account.
Yeah, that's a big one. I try and tell people. I said, you never have to post, but like when I smoke a cigar, I said a lot of times I'll if I'm not familiar with the brand, I'll go to X, and then I'll see if they have an account, and if they don't, I just don't post a cigar on X. It's like 'cause I don't have anyone to tag. Like I said, even if you don't ever post anything, but if someone goes, oh hey, I'm interested, that looks like a good cigar. Let me click on the Raices Cubana, it'll take you to your X account. I'm like, oh, hey, they have a website. Let me go to their website, and take a look, so it's always,
we've gotten quite a decent audience from X too.
That's our biggest platform, is live viewers. Our biggest platform is from X, and then on rewatches and everything else, it's YouTube. But yeah, X has a huge following. So that would be my only if I owned your company, this is what I would do, type of, but you do have a, which I love, a very simple website.
Yeah,
you go to it and you scroll down. Yep. That's it. That's all I want. Yep. I do love the fancy graphics, and then things come in and things move away and things are always happening, and it's like, that's it. But sometimes I just want to go to someone's website and then scroll down on the homepage.
I don't have to look for your cigars. I don't have to sit there and sort through the, and maybe skip over one. It's different colorations. It's very boom right there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So, what's your what's your personal goal? For the company going into 2026. Do you have any? I know the whiteboard in your office there. The list of things that you hope to accomplish.
My personal goal, I definitely one. I'm gonna, my wife's gonna get upset, but definitely want to get out there a lot more and just touch. More retailers, visit more shops that I currently am, just to spread the word a little bit more. So probably just have a little bit more of a travel schedule for next year. Get out there, do a lot more traveling than I was able to do this year. And that's my personal goal, honestly. As far as the company personal goal, we're working on it. We're still working on it for 2026.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to say you're a new company, you're not, but at the same time, you are. So yeah, you've got, tons of ground, to make up. And, I'm excited to see, especially, I get excited when I find a cigar I love, and then I'm excited for the company to see where they go, and to see if next year, you make the list, of whoever, a Half Wheel, Cigar Aficionado, Cigar Snob, everything else. Cause, I love being able to say, oh, I knew them back when they were small, so, and I always knew they'd blow up,
Yeah,
so
there you go, man.
that's what I'm excited about. Does your wife smoke cigars at all?
Yeah, she was actually.
Oh, did she?
She'll be at the trade show this year with me. So she was at the trade show last year. She was modeling our cigars. Not playing. No, yeah, she does. She, every now and then we sit down together and, maybe if the kids are asleep or if the kids are with the in-laws or, my parents, her mom, whatever, we get to have a little date night. We'll go to a cigar bar and have a cigar and hang out. So
that's great.
The perfect date night, just keep on, just keep on working, just make sure it's at a lounge that stocks your cigars, so
when I get her, when she has a couple of drinks, I know it's going to be a good night.
Yeah. So I know, you probably the bulk, of the cigars you're smoking are your own cigars. You got to, obviously you got to keep up with making sure, quality control, everything else, that are in there. But is there anything that you're anything else you're digging on, or what she's digging on, currently from anybody else?
It's been a while, so I haven't smoked another. Obviously, like I said, I'm always smoking our stuff for the most part for right now, especially different blends and stuff like that. That just to try them out and make sure that it's something that we want to bring into the portfolio. I will say, starting before I got into the industry, one of my favorites. And I know we didn't actually. This is something that you mentioned earlier, and I completely skipped over it. One of the ones that I tried to find a lot of the times, but it was hard, was Lennox from La Flor Dominicana, the Corona.
Yeah, I like that Lennox. A beautiful band on that cigar as well. So
that was probably one of the ones that every now and then was my go-to when I first started smoking cigars, and then now it's mostly our stuff. So, yeah,
of course, but it is nice. I mean, you're still making cigars for other people. I guess it's hard, but the factory, I'm like, I'll just take a few of these, a few of these.
No, I don't. I haven't been to the factory in a while.
Yeah,
but, I don't know if I'd be allowed to grab something from someone else anyways on there.
Yeah, I'm just assuming. So, I'd call Dion up. I go, hey, I see a pallet here.
I don't know if he'd be too happy about that.
Yeah, would you mind? And then
you said it's okay.
I'm like, oh, it's not okay. Well then I owe you a box, by the way. So my bad. I thought it would be okay.
No.
Kevin living his life on that adage, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
Oh yeah. If I come to your factory and be like, hey, I know Dion, like Dion's my boy, he said it. Yeah, he said it was going to be okay.
Shahan did what?
Take a handwritten note signed by you, but it's Dion.
Oh yeah, could you imagine Dion opening a box at the warehouse and then like there's just a note in an empty box? I owe you, and I'm like, oh hey, I'm good for it, Dion.
Kev, you'll pull that Costanza. Was that wrong? Shouldn't have I done that?
Yeah. Was that wrong? If I'd had known ahead of time, I would have
never done that.
Yeah, that's it. So, Kerr, any more questions for Ron before we let him go for tonight?
No, appreciate your time. This was fantastic. The cigars are great. Thank you. I'm really excited about not only these current brands and your core brands down, smoking through these and continuing to smoke them, but also what lies ahead in the future, especially with the idea of adding a core line or two and something maybe a little bit more exclusivo. But much great fortune to you all, and much luck, because you guys have definitely hit it out of the ballpark with all the blends that we discussed tonight. I mean, you really have. Like Kevin said, that not one of them is designated to a morning cigar, an evening cigar. They are appropriate for any time you want to sit down and have a good smoke. Anything from I haven't, like Kevin's. You're smoking what, the
Classico right now.
That's not a mild cigar. It's very engaging. You got that all the way up to something a little bit more full bodied. You really have a good wheelhouse of different blends, and they all have their own different personality and characteristic. And you sit down, you smoke it, and it tells you a story, and it takes you on a journey. And I love it. So good luck and congratulations.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, it was great being here. You guys are awesome. So I was happy to be here. I was happy to be a part of this for sure.
Yeah, we're happy to have you on. And like I said at the beginning, we've been doing this for years now, and people that know us know that. And like I'll say it again, Kerr and I do not fawn over a cigar or a cigar factory or a blender, and we don't do it often. I mean, if we like the cigar, we'll say we like the cigar. Mm-hmm. But, I just can't stress enough that, these cigars are fantastic. They really are. And if you know me, I don't say that, just to say that because we have someone from the company on the show. It's a rarity to ever just really, like I said, fawn over a cigar. These cigars are fantastic.
And when we hear Jessica and Jennifer talking about them too, that's also kind of that's the other barometer that we use. Yeah. It's like, when we like them, but then when we hear them talking about it, and Jennifer's coming home and, Jessica's coming home and they got an extra bag of, Raices Cubanos, it's like, oh crap. Okay. Well, this is.
Yeah. So for everybody watching tonight, listening in the future, take that for what it's worth, go out, pick some up, ask your local retailer if they stock them. If they don't, find it online. I mentioned Abe at Smoke In Cigars has a few. I'm sure there are, with a couple hundred retailers throughout the country, I'm sure there's at least, a dozen that do sell online where you can find any one of the cigars that we talked about tonight. If Abe doesn't have the one that you want. I know he does have like the Liga de Reyes. Coupon code A gives me CP15, Cigar Prop 15. That's good for most things on his website. So pick up a 5-pack of cigars, use that code, save a few bucks. And but yeah, just go to your local retailer, ask them, say, hey, saw them on Cigar Prop, maybe the retailer will know me. Maybe not. So, and maybe it'll be worth something they look into.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know you mentioned you do some giveaways every now and then, right, Kev?
Yeah. We just gave away one of your samplers on Instagram. Last week we picked the winner for that. So,
okay, right on. Yeah. I mean, if you ever need anything else, I'm more than happy to send you some stuff so you can do some giveaways. If you ever need anything from me, just reach out. We'll do what we can to support you guys as well.
I'll reach out after the new year or so, and maybe we'll do another giveaway or something. We'll give away more cigars. So super cool.
Right on.
Wow.
Ron, thanks for coming on and spending almost 2 hours of your Wednesday night with us. We definitely appreciate the time.
No problem. I will nowhere I'd rather be right now, honestly.
Yeah. Right on. We definitely appreciate that.
I get home and I have kids screaming at me. So
All right, man. You have a great night.
You too, guys. Take it easy.
You too.
Take care, Ron.
Bye.
All right, everybody, make sure you're speaking of giveaways, make sure you're following Cigar Prop on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. I just got in a package just the other day from a Cigar Oasis. We have their all new, the Cigar Raices 4.0 a humidifier. I don't even think you can buy these yet. I have 3 of them.
Wow.
That we are going to be giving away. I'm not keeping any for myself. I love Cigar Oasis. I've been with them for years. We're giving away 3 of those, and then each one will also come with their new Caliber 5 hygrometer. I've been pushing the Caliber 4 hygrometer for years. We just gave a bunch of those away recently, so we'll be giving away the Cigar Oasis Plus 4.0 right after the first of the year. We're going to let everything wind down a little bit, and so we're going to be. You'll have 3 chances to win. YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. So make sure you're following me on all those, and so you can get in on that giveaway. So thank you to Cigar Oasis. They've been a real big supporter of ours over the years. Another company that we don't take money from. I love the crew over there. When I need something like a hygrometer or a new ashtray, I always reach out. I'm like, hey, I need a hygrometer. Can you send me over one? And they always do. So they've always been real big supporter of ours, and just a great organization. So we love them, and we love promoting them. I do have a coupon code for the website. I don't know what it is. Oh, it's Prop Nation. So yeah, it's it'll save you like 15% if you go over there. No kickbacks, non-affiliate link at all. Just plug in that code, save 15% at cigaroasis.com. And they got some cool stuff.
Just a prop discount.
That's it. So Prop Nation discount, save some money over there. So Kerr, this will be our last show of the year.
Is it? I was going to ask you if you're going to do anything Monday.
We've never gone this late into the year, on shows, So yeah, my next week is absolutely just it's been packed for the last month. Hey Kerr, I got a question for you.
Yeah,
it's man math. Oh
Jesus Christ. Okay.
So if I go to Home Depot and return something and I get a $75 credit, and while I'm there, I buy something for $150. It's only $75, right? Because I had that credit.
I'm going to give you carry math. No, it's $150, but
that's Jessica math too. I'm going.
You're doing Jennifer math right now. This is carry math. Carry math is, hey, stay within the guardrails of that $75 freaking coupon. If you come home with $76, that means we're $1 over that $75.
All right,
but I do see your rationale behind it, but I can't get behind it, Kev. I have to say I'm more in the Jessica math on that one.
All right, so
sorry, man,
but she got her new stove delivered today, so she forgot all about that. Ryan, you got to have so we had on
at the gym.
Yeah, that's it.
Take pictures.
That's it. Take pictures, or it didn't happen. And you're getting swole. Well, if you're getting swole, you must now post pictures every day of you in various poses. You need to have Ralph on, Ryan. We had on Ron. You have Ralph Montero from Raices Cubanas. So that's your, yes. check your phone. So yeah, you need to post every single day now for all of eternity of you getting into shape, because that's what we need to see.
And if you're not glistening with sweat, then we don't believe that you're working out.
Yeah, that's it. Because we love that. Now I make fun but my Facebook is full of me smoking cigars. So some people are like, enough with that. But at least it's not the people that work out and then now try.
When you're promoting a cigar, you're not promoting.
That's it. And then not only do you need to post pictures of you at the gym, you also need to tell us how we should be eating better now. Because that's it. So I need to know if you're taking creatine and how much. I need to know about your pre-workout. I need to know everything about Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness. I don't know a lot about gym life anymore, but I know Planet Fitness is not a gym. So that's where all the ladies go. So, but yeah,
Ryan said check my phone. I didn't get anything. Ryan,
I didn't get anything on that. We'll a little disappointed as well. So
you get a spray bottle. Listen, you get a spray bottle and
a spray bottle full of baby lotion or some baby oil.
You get a spray bottle and you get a really good app that can just erase your background and just put like a gym behind you. Freaking, I guarantee you, if you did that, Kevin, for like a month and posted pictures every day, after a month, people be like, "Man, Kevin, you're looking great." You're like, "It's fun." Take a picture, go back out to the lounge, grab yourself a freaking Diet Coke and Bacardi and a cigar, and in a month, everyone will be telling you how much better you look.
Yeah, I was surprised that when we went to Ybor City, how many people came up to me and said how much weight I'd lost, and which I don't think I've lost that much at all. But well, I'm starting a new diet, Kerr, in February. I'm gonna see if Jessica will join me on this diet. So I'm gonna extend my fast. I'm gonna do 18 hours just for the February because it's the shortest month. So we're gonna do an 18-hour fast, and then once a week do a 24-hour. So to see, because they say that'll really help flush everything out.
I'm starting back up in January. I felt I slid off the wagon a little bit. So
I can tell.
I get not much though.
Not much. You can see it a little bit in your face.
Probably, it's because it's that's the first place it goes, especially when you're not eating right. You start to retain your salt and your fluids and shit. Because then it's like if I stick to my diet then for 3 days straight, I'll drop another 5 pounds. But I probably picked up maybe about 8 pounds. But I had the same thing happen to me. Jennifer and I went down to Torch Lounge. This was a couple of months ago, maybe about a month ago, and Chuck, the owner, comes up and he goes, "Are you okay? Did you lose weight?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "All right, you lost a lot, right?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Okay." He goes, "I thought maybe you were sick or something." He goes, "I didn't want to say anything." He goes, "But you really lost." I said, "Yeah, I lost like 60 pounds." He goes, "You can really," he goes, "I was really concerned for a moment." And I'm like, no. I said, it's done properly and healthy. I said, but but he goes, "Yeah." He goes, you look great." He goes, "But I thought you kind of you were sick." And I was like, "No, I'm good." But yeah, I mean, with the holidays coming, people visiting, I'm drinking more bourbons and rums. Now it's like Jennifer's dad's bringing in all the sweets and the cookies, and the bagels and stuff, and it's like I'm still sticking to my I'm still doing the fasting, right? So I'm still able to eat lunch around 11 or 12. But it's just I'm not eating as well as I did. I'm not outside and getting around a lot. So yeah, I think my constant weight, I probably am about 8 to 10 pounds higher than that. I was pretty at a decent weight, but it was just really hard to sustain that lower weight when this started happening. So, yeah.
Oh yeah. I just got the photo now, Ryan. You could tell Ryan was holding his breath and he was sucking it in. If you look at his face, but but there's that guy in the background, Ryan, with that weird hairline. Somebody should tell him he needs to do something with that forehead. But yeah, no, I same thing. Like it's just
Beavis and Butthead, right?
Yeah, I know. It's just it's the holidays. It's an excuse. I got my Secret Santa from Craig tonight. Inside there was 2 giant packs of tasty cakes and some chocolate candies, and I'm like, oh geez, I destroyed because they were chocolate mint tasty cakes. We can't get them down here. I destroyed half of that box after dinner, and it's a brutal time of year. I haven't been hungry in a month. Normally when I come home like at 4:00 every day, 4:30, I'm starving. I wake up in the morning and my stomach is grumbling and I know I can't eat until like 11 or 12. And I haven't been hungry here in a month. Like last night, Jessica's like, "Hey, what do you want to do for dinner?" And I'm like, I'm not really hungry, but I know I should eat something. And then she's like, I haven't heard you say that in a long time. Like you're not hungry after work. And I'm like, yeah, because it's just, all the cookies and sweets and candies and the customers bringing them in there. Remember when tasty cakes? So I mean,
back when they were the real deal tasty cakes, so they were good.
Yeah, we never got like those here, So I didn't grow up knowing what tasty cakes, So when I got to be, as an adult, is when I'm like, oh, these are delicious, and people were like, oh, you should have tasted them back in the day.
Oh yeah, you guys, Craig, because he's a Pennsylvania boy. Is the Flyers?
Craig. He's the one who sent them all to me. So,
that's what I'm saying. I mean, he's a Flyers fan back in the 70s. they used to do a tasty cake break with Pete the Puck, and it was
Oh
like a
yeah.
commercial. Yeah, it was yeah. So, but what I've been doing is the one thing I'm even though I realize it's this time of the year, when I start getting a little bit lazier with my diet, when I'll be like, yeah, I work from home, I'll just put on some track pants. If you want to get fat without knowing that you're getting fat, and the Jerry Seinfeld to George Costanza is, you're wearing sweatpants, you've given up. And that's a sign you've given up. Wear track pants all the time, because eventually you're going to be like, oh, we got to go out. And you put your jeans on. You're like, son of a bitch, they don't fit. So now I make sure that I'm wearing pants all the time. And I'm like, okay, these are getting a little tight. I know that it's time that I got to start increasing the water. And, making sure that I'm a little bit more strict when it comes to my my fasting.
I'm the same way, because I got to wear my pants to work every day. So every now and then they start getting a little tight, and I'm like, oh, it's a little tough to tuck this shirt in today. So I got to got to take that. But here's Ryan. You shouldn't eat sugar. Here we go.
There you go. There it is. He's in the fucking gym. You got to give him some advice.
That's it. No, there's nothing wrong with sugar. It's just an excess amount of sugar. So,
and making sure that you're burning off the calories. Kevin, you work enough to burn off, you could be good.
Yeah, I do. But I do feel better on the fasting though. Like it's just your body, you have more energy. I was 100%. Starting to get like energy deplete. I was starting to get that crash at about 3 o'clock every afternoon. I added magnesium to my diet. Because that's my doctor about that, and he's like, like 90% of the population is deficient in magnesium. So after I started supplementing that, I'm like, oh, I don't get that 3 o'clock crash anymore. So
you know what used to get me too, that I got back in again, is coffee. For the longest time, I gave up coffee. I didn't drink coffee probably from about April until like September. I mean, I didn't drink, and then every once in a while, I'll be like, okay, I'll have a couple, half a cup in the morning. Now I'm back to drinking a full cup of coffee in the morning, and every once in a while, now there's a bagel. I'll be like, I'll sneak a bagel, and I'm like, I'm getting off the fasting, and I definitely know a huge difference. I'm more tired in the afternoons, like you said, that crash. Last night I was exhausted, and I'm like, you know what? I got to get back to cutting off my eating at 6 o'clock. And not eating anything till about 12, 1 o'clock the next day. And when I do that and I drink nothing but water, I don't have that crash. I sleep better. I feel better.
Yeah. I cut out Monster Energies. And I used to only have one every Sunday, if you watched all my posts. And then every now and then I would have like the big fancy frou-frou drink from Wawa or Dunkin' Donuts. But I stopped doing those. And then every now and then, I would have one starting like, it was like July or so. I'm like, oh, I'll have, and it just destroys my gut. Just one, and it will just be all day long. I feel like shit, and I don't drink them anymore. It's just not worth it. JJ Jambalaya, he gave up soda and bought an espresso machine, lost 60 pounds. I can't give up. I love my Diet Coke. But I only drink.
Different though. He's talking about when he's giving up soda and losing that much weight. That means drinking Coke. That's a lot of empty calories. Yeah. Coke,
it is, and everybody knows I love Diet Coke. At most 2 a day. If I drink a second one with like my Bacardi, like that's a lot of Diet Coke. Like I don't drink, So
I still drink Diet Cokes.
Yep, I bought a 12-pack of Fresca this week. I've been having a Fresca with my lunch every day. I'm like, oh, this is refreshing, So
how about a Fresca? Remember that from Caddyshack?
Yeah,
very dandy. So, how about a Fresca?
I saw that at the at Publix this week. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna pick up some Fresca, and I'm like, oh, it's quite refreshing. But
your inner Judge Schmales.
Yeah, my Judge Schmales.
But yeah, I mean, Diet Coke's fine. I mean, there's no calories in it. It's the person that drinks 5 Cokes a day. That's going to be about 500 to 600 calories. That's just all sugar. and it's just empty calories. It just is.
My other technician at work, Eric, and he stops every morning on his way to work, and he buys like this big breakfast. He probably eats a pound of food. So he stops every morning at the local gas station that has like a really nice deli and like biscuits and gravy, eggs, hash browns, sausages. So he'll buy one of those, a pack of cigarettes, and 2 Monster Energies. And that's all he consumes all day. So when he leaves at the end of the day, all he'll have had all day long is a big breakfast, a pack of cigarettes, and 2 Monster Energies. And that's like, and wonder why, like during the summertime, him and all the kids that drink, sodas and everything else, about sweating.
Oh my God.
Like it'll be 9 o'clock in the morning and they're all changing their shirt for the first time.
I'm probably not keeling over being dehydrated. I mean, when you're drinking that much sugar and that high caffeine and you're freaking chain smoking, God,
it's and that's every 5 days a week. And I just, and then the cheap Irishman in me, I just look at that going, God, that's probably $300 or $400 a month.
100. Yeah, it is.
It's just, in that, I try to tell him, I said, that Monster Energy is going to kill you, but at least go to Amazon or Sam's and buy a case.
Yeah.
And bring it to work with you.
Yeah. Die with a little bit extra money in your account.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know how these kids do it. I only drink. I have like a Fresca or a Diet Coke with my lunch, but I just drink sugar-free Gatorade all day, every day.
I have the Gatorade Zero. There's 10 calories in it. It's about 6 grams of sugar. I'm a huge fan of their Glacier Cherry. The white.
Yeah,
it's so refreshing. The water, and Jen, she'll buy Diet Cokes for me, and every once in a while I have a Diet Coke with lunch, maybe one with dinner, maybe, but generally it's water. And like now, it's like the coffees. We got this 6 and 20 freaking bottle. It's a local distillery, and they have this. There's a Carolina cream, and he made it because his mother liked Bailey's Irish cream, but she wanted something, so he made this specifically for her, and it's got rum in it, it's got some bourbon, and it's this delicious cream that if you put in your coffee, it's perfect. But I probably gained like 5 pounds just from that, and maybe cut some beers on Sunday and Saturday watching football. So
that's it. And Ryan said at my peak, he was 624 packs a week. That's fucking insane, Ryan.
What's that?
Soda?
Soda? Wait, 6 cases a week? That's a case a day.
I don't know how. I don't know how you
drink a case a week, let alone a day.
Yeah, I probably go through, a 12 pack a week. Yeah, if I'm only drinking 1, maybe 2 a day. So yeah, a 12 pack a week.
Wow,
I'm just drinking 624. God. So,
now when I was younger, that was probably my beer consumption.
What's that?
Coke.
Yeah.
6 cases of Coke a week, man. Like I said, back in the day, that was my beer consumption probably.
Yeah.
We go through a case a day, or maybe a little bit less, but sweet Jesus, Ryan. You just stop that alone, you're probably going to drop 20 pounds just right off the bat.
Without a doubt. God, your blood sugar level is going to love you.
And you take a picture like you took and sent to us. That's another 5 pounds. Just that picture alone.
Yeah.
Taking a picture like that alone. That's 5 pounds right there.
That's it. So yeah, I'm hoping like this month of February, hopefully Jessica will join me to keep me in check, because I'm gonna need some boost. So it's always easier when 2 people go on a diet than 1 person.
Yeah, Jennifer and I can't do that. It doesn't work well. It actually causes more arguments than it is. It's just like, you know what? I'm gonna do my diet. Do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, there's times in the evening she'll sit there and eat ice cream in front of me. I'm like, whatever, I drink my water. But so what you're saying is in February, you're going to be pretty cranky during the show.
No, not at all. Like I said, it's I'm only because I already do 12-hour fast. So to go to 18, not a big deal. And the 24-hour I'm going to do on Tuesday. I'm going to do Tuesday after the show. So
you got to have to do at least 14 to 15 hours of fasting.
I'm gonna do 18 hours of fasting.
No, I know, but you say you're doing 12 now.
Yeah, so most day, or I would say half the week I'm doing 12. The other half I'm doing 14. And then I do have Sunday. If I have Sundays off, that's my cheat day, because I know if for me personally, if I don't have a cheat day, and then it's hard during the week, because then I just want to cheat every day. So, and my cheat day is I have breakfast. That's not like I'm consuming. It's not like I'm consuming a bunch of candy.
Right,
I just eat breakfast. I like a big breakfast.
That was my cheat day. Was on Sunday.
Yeah.
Don't lie.
No. Yeah. I mean, I do like my sweets, after dinner. So, but yeah. So, I do like on Sunday morning. Like I'll go up to the bagel place and get us some sandwiches or something. So when I say that's my cheat day, that's my cheat day.
Yeah, that was my cheat day too on Sundays. Now my cheat day is like, well, maybe I can squeeze one in here, and I just got to stop that, because 18 hours is not that hard if you stop eating around 5 or 6 o'clock and you don't eat anything till 2.
Yeah,
that's not a bad day. That's not the first couple of days are going to be tough when you hit that 11 o'clock mark, and you're like, fucking 15 hours is good enough, but yeah, you just got to kind of just tough through it.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, Ryan, he eat once a day, straight carnivore diet for the most part. Yeah, some people their bodies are made for the carnivore diet. Some people they're not. Some people have stomach issues. So many other people love that diet. So
I could do primarily, I could do heavy proteins, light carbs, but I can't cut carbs out altogether, because I will walk past carbs. If I just do, and I've done back during the Atkins days, I'll go 3 or 4 days of pure protein, and on that 4th or 5th day, I'll walk by a plate of carbs and it will literally jump into my hand and force it's horrible.
I'll eat an entire loaf of bread.
Yeah.
After like 3 days.
It is.
Yeah, and it's like, yeah.
It's my body's just like, listen, dude, reduce carbs, do not cut them out.
Yeah.
It's not good.
All right, Kerr. 2 hours, 7 minutes. Man, this flew by. Make sure you're following Stogie Road Cigars, Cigar Prop, our guest tonight, Raices Cubana, on all the social medias. Links are in the video description, podcast description, if you're listening to this. And this will be our final show for the year. And then that's a big IO. So we got we got a big game this weekend. Ohio State. We're going to find out who we're going to play. So it'll be interesting. So
it's not a bad time to be a spectator.
Yep, not a bad time. So, all right, everybody, thanks for coming on and joining us. We appreciate you hanging out with us.
Yep. Happy New Year. Have a good holiday, whatever you celebrate, if you celebrate anything, and have a very good and safe, happy New Year. And we will see you in 2026.
We'll see you in 2026.